Hello students, today we shall going to discuss with reference to the types of asexual reproduction. In the last class we have discussed with reference to the main important features of asexual reproduction in case of unicellular organisms, and the second important one is said to be the asexual reproduction in case of lower plants. Today we shall going to discuss with reference to the asexual reproduction in case of animals and asexual reproduction in case of higher plants. With reference to asexual reproduction in case of animals, some invertebrate animals, they normally reproduce by asexual reproduction. In case of invertebrates, you can find the presence of two types of reproduction, namely budding and gemmules formation. In addition to the budding and gemmules formation, you can find the presence of another two important types of asexual reproduction in animals, namely regeneration and fragmentation. With reference to asexual reproduction in case of animals by budding. In this type of reproduction, the outgrowth or bud grows externally on the surface of the parental body, which gets separate and matured into new living organisms. Such a unique type of budding is naturally seen in case of Hydra and in case of Cycon. The origin of the bud in case of Hydra, it is purely exogenous in origin. It is purely exogenous in origin. Hagagi, the budding is also designated as exogenous budding anta karitare. The second important one is said to be the gemmule formation. It is purely endogenous in origin. The gemmule formation is purely endogenous in origin. In this type of reproduction, the buds are formed within the parental body. Such a type of spore, such a type of birds are purely designated as gemmules. Gemmules, it mainly consists of small groups of cells enclosed by a protective coat. Enclosed by a protective coat. During favorable conditions, the cells comes out through the micropylar region. This is said to be the micropylar region. A osteal-like structure. Through the micropylar region, the spores are liberated and they develop into new living organism of its own type. Such a unique type of reproduction is seen in case of sponges. These gemmules are formed during favorable conditions. During unfavorable conditions, it undergoes a period of dormancy. The third important one is said to be the regeneration. Regeneration is a process in which the animals regrows or repairs the lost or the damaged body parts. Either regrow or repair of the lost or the damaged body parts are rectified through regeneration. Naturally, you can find the presence of regeneration in case of planaria, in case of starfish, and also in case of sponges, and in case of hydra, and also in case of starfish, you can find the phenomenon of regeneration. It is defined as it is the process in which the animals regrows or repairs the lost or the damaged body parts. Such a unique type of asexual reproduction in case of animals is called regeneration. It is commonly found in case of planaria, starfish, sponges, and also in case of hydra. The last important type of reproduction in case of animals is said to be the fragmentation. In this type of reproduction, the body of the parent cell breaks into distinctive pieces. On reaching a suitable substrata, which produces new offsprings of its own type. Such a unique type of reproduction is seen in case of planaria, in case of Coelenterata, Echinodermata, and also in case of flatworms you can find the presence of fragmentation. The last type of asexual reproduction is said to be the asexual reproduction is case of higher plants. It is also designated as vegetative propagation, or it is also designated as vegetative reproduction. In advanced terminology, the vegetative propagation is defined as the process of formation of new plants from vegetative parts or animal cells such as buds, tubers, rhizomes, etc. ನಿಮಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತು, all vegetative or the somatic cells, they are purely diploid in nature. With the diploid status, it exhibits the phenomenon of totipotency. Any part of the plant will develop into new individual organism of its own type through totipotent nature. Such a unique type of totipotency is naturally seen in case of vegetative cells or in the somatic cells. In case of vegetative reproduction, the vegetative units are popularly designated as vegetative propagules. The units of vegetative reproduction. The units of vegetative reproduction are called vegetative propagules. Vegetative propagules is also a type of asexual reproduction because it is uniparental in nature, uniparental in origin, and it does not involve the formation of sexes. It reproduces large number of propagules within a short duration. The rate of reproduction is very fast and quick. It preserves the genetic purity. In addition to this, it plays a very important role in the restoration of disease-resistant varieties, and also good quality of the variety is preserved indefinitely. And also the crops remain true to their parents and mature early. Such a unique characteristic features are naturally seen in case of vegetative propagation. With reference to vegetative propagation in case of plants, in case of plants, the runners or the vegetative propagules, runner type of vegetative propagation is seen in case of grass and also in case of axalis. In case of ginger, the vegetative propagule is said to be the rhizome. In case of chrysanthemum, the vegetative propagule is sucker. In case of potato, it is tuber. In case of Eichhornia and in case of Pistia, both are said to be the aquatic plants. The Eichhornia is popularly designated as terror of Bengal. It normally reproduces through offset. In case of onion, it is bud. In case of agave, ಅಂದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕತ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. In case of agave, it is bulbil. In case of bryophylla, it is birds, leafy birds will normally take part in propagation. In case of Marsilia, it is a type of aquatic pteridophyte. It normally reproduces through stolon. In case of Dahlia, it normally reproduces through adventitious tuberous roots. And in case of sugarcane, through the stem cutting, the vegetative propagation is seen. This is with reference to the types of vegetative reproduction in case of living organisms. The next important topic is with reference to natural methods of vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation occurs naturally in which a somatic part of the plant detaches from the parent body or detaches from the body of the mother and develops into a new independent plant under suitable environmental conditions. Some of the important type of vegetative propagation are as follows. The two important types of vegetative propagation are namely vegetative propagation by roots. The second important one is said to be the vegetative propagation by stem. The first one is said to be the vegetative propagation by roots. In plants like sweet potato, dahlia, and in case of asparagus, you can find the presence of vegetative propagation by roots. In such a plants, the underground adventitious roots are modified variously for the storage of reserve food material. These roots bear adventitious buds. These root bears adventitious buds which grow into leafy shoot called slips. Which grows into leafy shoots like slips. When these slips separated from the parent body and placed in a suitable substratum or in soil, it develops into new independent body of its own type. New independent body of its own type. Such a unique type of vegetative propagation by roots is naturally seen in case of sweet potato, in case of dahlia, and also in case of asparagus. Sweet potato and sihi genasu. The second important one is said to be the vegetative propagation by stem. In most of the plants, stem is the main source of vegetative propagation. Some of the methods in which vegetative propagation takes place by different kinds of the stem are as follows. The first important one is with reference to vegetative propagation by underground stem. Underground stem. With reference to vegetative propagation by underground stem, you can find the presence of four different types of underground stems they normally take part in vegetative propagation. The four important types are namely stem tuber in case of potato, second one is rhizome in case of ginger, corm in case of Amorphophallus, and last one is said to be the bulbs in case of onion and in case of garlic are said to be the four important types of vegetative propagation by underground stem. The first important one is said to be the vegetative propagation by underground stem with reference to stem tuber. It is a type underground stem modification for the storage of food materials. Naturally, you can find the presence of stem tuber type of modification is seen in case of potato. Each tuber, it mainly consists of number of nodes, or it is also designated as eyes. Each eye produces one or more buds. When tuber is cut along with the eyes, when they are planted in suitable substratum or in soil, it develops into new independent plantlets. It develops into new independent plantlets. Such a unique type of stem tuber mediated vegetative propagation is seen in case of potato. The scientific name of potato is Solanum tuberosum, belongs to Solanaceae. The second stem modification is with reference to rhizome. It is a perennial, underground, condensed, fleshy modified stem for the storage of reserve food material. Such a unique type of underground, condensed, fleshy modified stem type of storage is naturally seen in case of ginger. If you observe the ginger, it is differentiated into nodes and internodes. It is differentiated into nodes and internodes. Each node possesses axillary buds. These are said to be the axillary buds. The axillary bud gives rise to new plant body during the favorable conditions. The axillary bud gives rise to new plants during favorable conditions. Such a unique type of rhizome-mediated vegetative propagation is seen in case of ginger, turmeric. In case of ginger and in case of turmeric, you can find the presence of rhizome type of vegetative propagation. The third important one is said to be the carom. It is vertically arrayed underground, highly condensed, fleshy modified stem for the storage of reserve food material. It is differentiated into nodes and internodes. In addition to this, in the nodal region you can find the presence of scaly leaves. The plant body or the underground stem is differentiated into nodes and internodes. Each node possesses axillary bud. The axillary bud gives rise to new plant body during favorable conditions. Each node possesses axillary buds. The axillary buds give rise to new plant during favorable conditions. Naturally, you can find the presence of carom type of vegetative propagation in case of Amorphophallus. It is popularly designated as elephant foot yam ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುವರ್ಣ ಗಡ್ಡೆ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. The last important type of vegetative propagation by underground stem is with reference to bulbs. It is underground, unbranched, reduced, disc-shaped stem. The terminal bud is surrounded by many leaves and many adventitious roots below. The inner scaly leaves are thick, fleshy. They store the reserve food material. The stem base, terminal bud, which give rise to aerial shoot. The axillary bud develop into new daughter bulbs. When these bulbs detaches and placed in suitable substrata, they develop into new independent plant. Such a unique type of bulb-mediated propagation is seen in case of onion. Its scientific name is Allium cepa. In addition to onion, even in case of garlic, you can find the presence of bulbil mediated vegetative propagation. The scientific name of garlic is Allium sativum. Allium sativum. In the next class, we will going to discuss the vegetative propagation by subaerial stems. The second important one, the vegetative propagation by aerial shoots. The third one, vegetative propagation by leaves, and vegetative propagation by bulbs are subjected to discuss. Thank you, children.